Hello everybody, thank you very much for attending this chat. I would like to thank IVSA organization for choosing me for this presentation about chiropractic. Today we are going to talk about chiropractic basics. My name is Alonso Soler. Here you can find my email and my social media in case that you want to communicate with me or see a little bit about my work. Here you can find it. I got my degree in Spain, and after that I decided to move abroad. I've been in Saudi Arabia, United States, UAE. I did my internship programs in Lexington, Kentucky in sport medicine and internal medicine, and after that I got my BSMT certification in the Healing Oasis Wellness Center in United States, in Wisconsin. This is the only school that it got the approval from the American educational system. Nowadays I'm based in Bahrain. My practice is 95% horses, 5% small animals, and mostly endurance horses, beauties, so jumpers. Those are my regular clients. One of the things that I would like to clarify is that we don't do massage, okay? This is something that most of the time people ask me, and our work goes much more farther, okay? And this medicine is being used in humans since 1895 because of a reason. So one of the things that I would like you to take home after this presentation is the meaning of holistic. Holistic means that everything in the world is connected. Okay, there is a communication between the movement, ligaments, muscles, veins, nerves, arteries, and also I want you to change a little bit your point of view in your practice regarding the. We don't nowadays, for myself, for example, I don't just check where I see that the problem is. I normally check everything surrounded, because, as I say, everything is connected, and I could have a problem in my neck and be laying on the hind, and I could have a problem in my kidney and just so like I have back pain. So my point of view, my approach to the clinical cases has changed a lot since I went through this certification. The two things that are basic for me in the chiropractic are the neurology and the anatomy. The neurology helps us to understand the integration of the information and the answer from the central nervous system to the internal and external information, okay? And this is basic to understand. From my point of view, I have to understand how the information goes from the receptors to the central nervous system and how it comes back. To see where the problem could be and how to fix it, and also with the anatomy we need to differentiate between one part, the other one, the type of the joint, the inclination, irrigation. So everything, as we said before, is connected. So one of the most important things that we need to understand regarding the body itself is the balance, the homeostasis. The body has super good balance, hard to break, and but when it gets broken, we need to understand what happened and how to solve it. So as healthier as our animal was before the breaking of the balance, as better is going to be our outcome. Why? Here you have one definition that is very important in the neurology, is the facilitation plasticity. that all this diagram what wants to say is that for the communication between A to B is necessary to have communication between B to C. But if our animal is healthy from the neurological point of view, even without A, the communication between B and C could be done. So also this will help a lot to regulate the perception of the stimulus. How our body maintains the neuronal health. Okay, you can have a look to the presynaptic pool, glucose, aerobic environment, neurotropic factors, because keep in mind that between 75-80% of the information that our central nervous system receives is coming from the external environment. Only the rest is coming from the internal environment. And this is information that our body has to integrate. The external environment information has to integrate and transfer to the central nervous system. Here you have a picture how everything works. Okay, so we can see how the information comes through the receptors, then it goes to the dorsal root ganglia, then spinal cord, it goes to the brain. You have also here a picture regarding the conformation of the brain, the different parts that we could have. And then we have the efferent pathways, how the brain transmit the answer through the motor neuron to the muscle. Okay, so these pathways, the afferent and the efferent, should transmit the information as straight as possible. It has to be without any anomaly, aberration. Otherwise, the information that is coming in is not the proper one, the answer is not going to be the good one. And this, on the other hand, if the information is the proper one but the brain cannot proceed with the proper answer, imagine we are going to interfere in our proprioception, balance, vision, everything could be affected. And in my clinic that we work with the horses or animals in the high sport level, the outcome is not going to be, the performance is not going to be the best one. Just to finish with the neurological point of view, because if we just touch a little bit of neurology, we can be here years talking about neurology to try to understand a little bit. But another thing that has to be always checked, and we check in the when we are talking about neurological animals, and are the cranial nerves. Okay, so those nerves are in charge, for example, of the olfactory, optic, and the vagus that is in charge, for example, of the heart rate, the glution for the hypoglossal, vestibulocochlear for the balance. So always to do a neurological check is mandatory when we are doing a chiropractic treatment, to make sure that, as we say before, the the health of the nervous system is the proper one, because we can work on the joints, we can work on the muscles, but if the information is not coming in and out properly, there is nothing to do. This is why we don't do only massage. We are professional veterinarian doctors, and we integrate all the information that the animal is giving to us, and one of this information is the neurological and the understanding of the neurology of our patient. Now, talking a little bit about anatomy, as we say, so we need to understand the type of joint that we are working with. I mean, we cannot expect the same range of motion on the able than the sacroiliac, the same amount of fluid. We also need to understand the kind of movement that we can expect of this from this joint, the masses that are vinculated, blood, nerve supply. As I say, I will explain a little bit how I do my approach. So normally I always like to do a visual approach, see where do I have asymmetry in my muscle, where do I have myotrophy, where the animal put more weight, where it puts less, the proprioception reflex, vision, hearing. So normally I always start with the visual, and then I start touching everything, checking the range of motion, palpating the pain, touching also temperature. One of the things that we can check in our animals are the temperature of the body, right? If we have something that is more acute, we will have inflammation, we will feel the swelling, we will feel an increase in the temperature in the area, and we will have pain. When we have chronicity, we could have the swelling because of the scar tissue, but normally we don't have this increase in the temperature, and most of the time the pain is less than in the acute phase. So also for the chiropractic treatment, we need to make a difference between acute and chronic, and that will interfere a lot in the outcome and the success of our treatment. So now, after we explain a little bit about the anatomy and the neurology, I would like to explain one of the basic concepts that we have here in the chiropractic, that is the subluxation, right? So between the joints, in most of the case we work on the column, okay? Between our vertebrae we have some spaces, okay? From those intervertebral foramens, that is how they are called, that they have regular size and dimension, okay? We have nerves coming out, okay, and reaching the entire body. When we have a subluxation, that means that we have missed the alignment between those two vertebrae. So that means that the joint is subluxated, is misaligned. What happens when we have this process or with this issue? That means that our intervertebral foramen, the dimension, the size has changed, and we could have a compression of the structure that is coming out of here. So if we already have a compress in our innervation, how do you think that the information that is coming in and out of the body is gonna reach our brain, and how is gonna be the answer that the brain is gonna provide to our muscle? So this is what we call aberration. So from here we will have a proprioception that is not correct. We will have a compensation, and for sure that if the innervation and the blood supply are not the correct one, the evolution of the envelope of this muscle, this structure, is not gonna be the correct one, and this is what we need to work on and solve to have our animals training and competing in the best condition. Because one of the things that we do with the chiropractic is the preventive medicine. Okay, when we have something that starts as a compensation and and it's not being treated and it lasts in the time and in the training program, these asymmetries and compensations could be chronic, and we could have real injuries that will mean resting period, treatment, and also normally another thing that I always explain, that this therapy is very cheap if you compare it with the cost of the treatment when the animal has already an injury. That means if I could have a different proprioception, for example, in one horse in my both front, and that means more weight on one side than the other one, at the end of the day I could have a real lameness, and I will then the rider will need to stop the horse, call the vet. That means ultrasound, X-rays, resting period. So, for example, in the countries that are in the GCC, that could mean that you have lost the entire season because you missed the beginning of the issue. This is what we do now. We try to work and cooperate with, for example, in my case, I work with the farriers for the balance of the hoof, because this is basic for me. The hoof is the 80% of the horse. So once we have this balance, I always take care of my horse is free in the movement and have flexibility, and it can move free for the competition without restriction and without pain. So our goal is to keep the animals far away from the pain. So here is what we said regarding the holistic. Okay, everything is connected in the body. So here you see how the neurology is connected with the vascular, with the myological, that means the muscle, connective tissue, kinesiology, all the change, how everything is connected in the body. And then we have, as we say before, if we don't correct and we don't work on this, we will have the inflammatory response, anatomic, physiologic, biomechanic interfere. The biomechanic is super interesting, how we can interfere in an animal, how the animal moves before and after the treatment, before with the restriction, and after without restriction. Is amazing how we can take care of the animal in this simple way, simple but complex at the same time, because as I say, we need to know the basis and understand what we are doing and where we want to be, because another thing is always to understand the goal and the performance of the animal. We always have a very good communication with the riders, owners, and see where they're gonna be, and we let them understand what are the chances to reach these goals. You know, is sometimes we need to put the feet on the earth and say, look, okay, you have this idea, but at the end of the day, this is what we can do, because we have all of this that we haven't checked before, and nowadays we cannot do that much. So this is another, sometimes we have to work as a psychologist also. So coming back to the chiropractic, okay, here is what I was explaining to you before. So the mainly work that we do is on the column, because as you say, the central nervous system is protected by the skull and the column. And here you can see in this picture the intervertebral foramen and the spinal nerve. So here you can see that if we have a subluxation, as we say, a misalignment between two vertebrae, the size will be different, producing a compression on the nerve and then interfering in the information that is coming in and out of the brain. And then here are the key points that at least I want you to take home. So my work, what I like to do chiropractic is because we work preventing on the prevention of the injuries, correcting the compensatory issues that the restriction produce in the movement. So when we have restriction in our movement, this will end up in the discomfort. And as we say, so if we solve the misalignment, the subluxation, the information that is coming in and out of the central nervous system and the body, this communication between the central nervous system and the body will be the proper one, and then we will prevent the compensation, the discomfort, the restriction in the body, and the low performance in the low performance in our animal. Okay, so keep in mind that, just as an example, chronic pain is the first reason in the world to commit suicide. So imagine how important it is to be and to have animals far away from pain. Okay, they are not going to commit suicide, but the performance will be completely different. The flexibility, how important is for a show jumper, for example, to have a horse without pain, that if you have a bad distance, the horse will say, okay, I can do it. Why? Because it's healthy, it has flexibility, it has no pain. But imagine the same horse with discomfort and pain. You have a bad distance, sorry buddy, I cannot make it. So it can stop, it can crash, and that will mean a lot. So because the injury after the stop, not only the physical, the psychological, you know, when the horse starts to stop, okay, then you have a lot of work to do for other specialists. So as I say, healthy animal. Healthy animal means flexibility and better performance. And then here I just want to say my bibliography. So everything that I explained today, and that it was, as I say, a little bit just for you to open this door to the preventive medicine and the chiropractic, is coming from the Healing Oasis Wellness Center postgraduate course, and there is where I got all the information that I presented today. So I just want to say thank you to everybody, and thank you for listening. I know that sometimes neurology and all those things, maybe you were having another expectation regarding the presentation. You can also let me know your concern, and you have any question, as I say at the beginning, please don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you very much.